Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome to 3306. This is where I take a look at the news and happenings in and around Elite Dangerous. This week, players very quickly found a new high-value mining hotspot. Player numbers appear to be trending towards an all-time high, and a surprising number of fleet carriers are sold. This week saw huge changes within the galaxy of Elite Dangerous. Not only did we see the long-awaited arrival of fleet carriers, but also we saw the death of the low-temperature triple diamond hotspot in the Borann system. Unfortunately, this means many people's favoured mining location is now not much use to them. However, a new location has quickly been found after much extensive hunting. In fact, a huge number of triple hotspots have been located all over the galaxy, but one in particular appears to be very good, nearly as good as Borann, perhaps even better. This is located in the Col 285 sector. You can see the specific system on the screen right now. It's located at a distance of around 250 light years away from Sol. Now this one is a bit out of the way for regular ships, so not as good as Borann for many people, but should be perfectly fine for anyone who owns a fleet carrier. Now this location is very popular. You can see right here there's a vast number of fleet carriers already there. The location was first posted to Reddit by Reddit user Kiri. So great work there, and I've posted that Reddit thread in the video description below. Now there's clearly a lot of interest in the fleet carriers update, with many players jumping in to take a look. Last night, Steam charts reported a Friday night high of over 16,000 players, making it the second highest ever. Now the all-time peak was way back in November of 2015, where it hit 18,000 players. So hitting 16,000 players this far into the game's life cycle is pretty good for a game of this age, and really it's entirely possible that may be beaten this weekend. Of course, fleet carriers themselves are very popular, despite the number of connection issues that first arrived with a patch during the initial 24 hours, as well as the fact it took a lot of players an extensive time to actually buy fleet carriers. There were a number of issues there. Frontier eventually resolved the majority of these issues. Now, how many people own fleet carriers? Well, we expected it to be a very small number, but currently Inara shows well over 6,000 carriers. In fact, as much as 6,240 fleet carriers as I was counting whilst recording this particular video. And do keep in mind that Inara only accounts for a percentage of the overall player base, so it's more than reasonable that there are currently over 10,000 fleet carriers around the galaxy. The fleet carriers themselves are being put to very good use. The player group, the New Pilots Initiative for example, are offering players a free trip to Colonia on board their fleet carrier. Now for those of you who have always wanted to go but never fancied undertaking the journey, this could well be the perfect opportunity. Colonia of course is well over 20,000 light years away from Sol, so not a short trip by any means. However, a fleet carrier will make pretty short work of this, and if you're feeling especially lazy, then all you need to do is dock with the New Pilots Initiative fleet carrier and then log off. Then log back in again when the carrier arrives. All the details you need are on the screen right here, and the Reddit thread can be found below. Sticking with the subject of long-distance journeys, Commander Thuma arrived in Beagle Point with their fleet carrier around about 48 hours after the initial release. Now that's very good going, and if you're interested in the rather extensive story that they've written up, you can find that over on Reddit. It's a very nice read indeed. On screen you can see a map showing evidence that the only fleet carrier currently in Beagle Point as of the point where that screenshot was taken. So yeah, congratulations there for getting the fleet carrier there so quick. Since the release of the update, the BGS has suffered a number of issues, causing much volatility within the galaxy. Now, those who actively played the background simulation quickly noticed some extremely unusual reactions within the system. Frontier have since confirmed that players' suspicions are correct and that this was down to a megatick, that is 36 to 40 hours of activity occurring within just 24 hours, and this was of course due to the server downtime when applying the fleet carrier update. Now, whilst Frontier feel that things should now return to normal and begin settling down, a number of large player groups nonetheless are noticing that things still do not feel quite right. So Frontier have asked for further feedback from those noticing such issues. There's the official thread linked below. For those of you who have been missing Galnet, Galnet made a brief new entry on the 9th of June, the first since the 14th of January. The update discusses nanomeds, a new commodity that was added into the game with the Fleet Carrier update. Whilst the old regular ongoing Galnet articles are not going to return, this latest entry is certainly in line with Frontier's previous statement that the occasional article relating to in-game events will still be posted. You may have noticed that the article, of course, is posted in-game, and it's also posted on the external Galnet website. Now finally, for those of you who are looking for another alternative way to make huge amounts of money, Yamiks posted a video about Tritium Trading. Now, tritium is the fuel used by fleet carriers, and this particular method allowed players to purchase tritium at one station and travel to another station and sell it there, and it was basically possible to make 240 million credits an hour or thereabouts. Now, it does seem that this may have been nerfed as profits are now way down, but it's still possible to make a reasonable amount of money. If you want to check out Yamiks' video, that is linked below, and if you want to find out where things currently stand, then you can have a look at the relevant forum thread, which is also located below. That then brings us to an end of this episode of 3306. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.